Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to TorCraft number 2 here, hosted at the Microsoft Store in the Yorkdale Mall in Toronto, Canada. I'm the forecourt jester. With me here, Master Delk. If you're familiar with the series, we do have a lot of returning faces here for today's bracket. We got a $200 prize pool, and all really the top talent of Toronto is out here in order to claim some of that, and a few goodies here from the Microsoft Store as well. Very generous of them for us to host it here in their space. They've been a terrific sponsor, so hit them up there at the Microsoft Store. And of course, we cannot forget Toshiba Canada as well, helping us out here in TorCraft number 2.
Yep. We're going to be starting with our first game of MaSa versus
EnderSword.
Yes, EnderSword.
Yep.
And you know, MaSa, he's apparently Masters right now. Used to be GM,
Ooh,
but
that's a little bit of a blow to the ego.
yeah.
A little bit.
I don't know. Did he just become like bad after going to LAN ETS or something? Like what happened? What happened?
Well, I don't know. LAN ETS was like fairly cutthroat. There was a lot of top tier talent there, including MaSa and EnderSword. Actually, EnderSword did the commentary in association with ETS, and that was a really, really good stuff to listen to. So, EnderSword here up against MaSa. I do believe he had this matchup last time we were actually on camera, and the goal then was to kind of take a missile turret. But now that MaSa's now no longer really Grandmaster, maybe we can take a whole base this time.
Yep.
Maybe. We'll see.
Because that border, it's very arbitrary, but it obviously matters in your skill level. 100%.
It's all mind games. I mean, when you
mind
go
games.
into that and you see top 3 GM, you're like, well, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
But if you only see a Masters, I don't know. There's a few people here that I think could take him on. In terms of the bracket tonight, we are going to be doing the top 8. And this is just going to be the first game of, I believe, all 4 of our quarters. And then into the semis and the grand finals. Everything best of 3, normal ladder maps. We're just ribbing on Dave because he's a really good guy. Poor EnderSword. But, maybe he's actually going to bring it back and actually take a game.
You know what? We would have to give him a standing ovation.
I would.
If you can.
I totally would. Like,
yeah.
Standing ovation here with all these people, we could totally make that happen. So, Dave, I know you're not listening, but good luck out there, buddy.
Yeah.
MaSa, however, is a fairly scary competitor, though. Anytime you see him pop up on the ladder in a lot of these Canadian tournaments as well, he can really bring the pain.
Yeah, like even at just last weekend, LAN ETS, MaSa won that. Dropped 1 map that entire weekend.
That's impressive.
Yep, last TorCraft, MaSa won that too. Pretty sure whatever was before TorCraft, MaSa won that too. So MaSa on a pretty good record right now.
As I said, like top tier talent here in Toronto. We also have a few other big names here as well. We have Hendrilisk. He's going to be on the other side of the bracket, so they might actually, meet up in the finals.
Yeah.
Samuel is here. We had him in, I believe, the semis last time as well. So he's going to be trying to make his way through the second match of our quarters. I'm trying to remember who else has actually made top 8 today.
Top 8, we also have Amnesia.
Yep, that's true. He was here last time, I believe. Amnesia?
I
making
think
forgetful
it was.
jokes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe forgot to win? Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
And then we also have other players such as BioIce.
Yep.
MaSa, Hendrilisk, BioIce.
There's only 8. It's like Pokemon. We got to name them all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're failing at that point.
For whatever reason, I'm apparently better at naming all 151 than I am at naming 8 people.
It's ingrained in your childhood, sir.
Yeah.
Well, okay, my childhood. Maybe not yours, but...
No, I played Red.
Twitch Plays Pokemon is now over, so it's like my innate knowledge that came back is now just kind of fading, because I didn't play Pokemon Crystal at all, so... Yeah, quite unfortunate. All right, we're going to be getting into the game in just a few moments here, guys. We're going to give them the okay. Today's our observers actually going to be none other than GZ Swanson.
Yeah.
High Masters player himself. He's tried to train me a little bit, but he just ends up wrecking me every time. He's not a very gentle teacher, so to speak. But he definitely knows what to look at, so we're going to be depending on him today. So any credit go his way, any blame, however, his way as well. So. Yeah, I take no responsibility for today. But yeah, Swanson, good guy here. And all the crew here actually at the Microsoft Store. ES Champ is the production. We got War Champ there on the OBS mode. We got Swanson there for the Observer. Of course, Drekken in the back just doing the entire production of everything, organizing not only the space, but the prizes and the brackets. A lot of effort here from the ES Champ Crew TV, so we do extend our thanks to them as well for making these Toronto events happen. It's really good to have esports close to home. Because, it's half hour down the road. I literally drove half hour here, and then half hour to park. But the important part is close to home.
Yeah.
It's not that impossible to get into some of these competitions and win a little bit of money for playing the games you love.
Yeah, and it also is a lot better practice than ladder sometimes because you get a full series, and then you also get to meet a lot of new people you can practice with afterwards.
So game number 1 is now underway, ladies and gentlemen. MaSa up against EnderSword, our PVT for our first best of 3 of the night. And again, Swanson, he's going to be taking it away. But here in the top left, Mr. EnderSword here on the Protoss purple. A little bit of a zoom in. I like the stars around his decals. Pretty good stuff.
And over on the south side of Heavy Rain, we have our Root Terran player. He is MaSa.
Dave's coming out strong with the mind games here. Minigun has been coaching him all week, so maybe going to try to make MaSa quake in his boots a little bit. One-on-one map, so of course we aren't going to know where everything is going to be going, but that's going to be an early probe. No, the SCV.
Yeah, and it's also heading up the right side. Interesting. Oh, it looks like it's going to be heading back over towards the center.
Could this be a proxy?
You know, knowing MaSa, it could be. And that's why I was wondering, like, oh, why is it going up the right side? That's not quite the most quick way of getting there. But it seems like now that SCV is just going to go the normal way. So, though being MaSa, we could still see a proxy. Yes, it's actually heading south again. And it's a proxy.
It is going to be a proxy right there in the middle of the map. So this could be an interesting turn here for EnderSword. Let's see if Minigun actually taught him how to deal with proxy rushes. If we don't get our own scout out fairly soon, then EnderSword could be in for a world of hurt. Does have a gateway just in the back there, but gas now going up here as well from MaSa. So I'm going to say Reapers.
Yeah, it's probably Reapers. MaSa, he opens Reapers like a lot.
Oh, the probe went through the low ground. You didn't see it.
So that probe has failed at its job of scouting.
We're going to fire that probe.
We should.
The game is over. We're going to dismantle it and sell it to the Matrix.
Yep. And right now it looks like I saw your probe.
Wow, the counter mind game's coming up from MaSa.
Lies, says EnderSword. EnderSword doesn't want to believe it because you know what? Why would he see it, right? But then EnderSword, you know, he knows MaSa pretty well. I feel like he should kind of think that something's happening here.
We do have, again, the Reaper is going to be coming down. Second barracks as well as the orbital scouting probe is now going to be into the base here from EnderSword. And again, like, nothing really out of the ordinary quite yet for a Protons. He does have the cybernetics now down and a bunker in the back.
Oh, and that SCV is so smart. It actually jukes off to the right side. Gonna mineral walk, and will he be able to get out of here alive? Oh, so close.
The probe's just saying,
So
you're in the
close.
wrong neighborhood, my mechanical friend. Only Protoss units get to hang out here. So not going to be quite the bunker, but still, again, the counter mind games coming up from MaSa. Here's that Reaper, though, now going to be in full force with that proxy. You can also see the waypoint going on top of him. That's going to be a lot of pain here for Ender. So, like, that's a lot of probes now pulled off the line. We don't have those Zealots up quite yet. In fact, we almost have that Stalker now done. You can see it being chrono boosted out. So, in terms of a Stalker up against multiple Reapers, I mean, that should be able to stop some aggression. But still, that was a lot of mining time now lost.
Yeah, and also going to be able to kill 3 workers now. The second Reaper going to be joining up here in EnderSword's base, and it seems like MaSa, he's going to be coming in again. The Stalker is not quite ready, and the Reaper's going to be able to kill off yet another probe.
Yep.
And then they're just going to run. They're just going to jetpack away.
Well, that's what they do best. So 3 Reapers, or possibly 4? No, it looks like, all right, so 3 Reapers, likely going to be the end of the aggression there. But you can see back at home, we also got, again, more production coming up here from MaSa. Like, the proxy, he didn't really sacrifice a lot of economy for it. Like, he got out the proxy, and he's just going to use it to keep harassing. Just keep EnderSword a bit more on the defensive. Keep him just a little bit more focused on his own base rather than, like, any kind of big push timings. But, again, the jetpacks, he gets in, he does the strike, he gets out. It's guerrilla warfare at its best. And MaSa, at this point, he can just kind of build up in the back and not really worry too much about aggression anytime soon.
Yeah, and oddly enough, there's actually a probe of EnderSword over in MaSa's main base. It's just kind of sitting there. It could leave. The supply depot is open, but it's just going to kind of stay there for now.
It would be like a suicide overlord, but Protoss version. It would become a suicide drone a little bit later on. And at the same time, he does, again, like, we have the production coming here from MaSa, but he doesn't really have anything actually to do in his base to kind of chase it out. And there's no point in really dragging out the SCVs. He does have 2 Marines up now, but 3. But he also might not even know it's right there. I mean, it is in the fog.
Yeah, and like right now, MaSa, he's still creating more and more Reapers.
I'm a little surprised at that, to be honest.
Well, it's MaSa. He likes Reapers.
Okay. He's going to try to go toe-to-toe here with some of those Stalkers, but the Mothership Core will kind of change the tide of that battle. And
yeah.
I don't think we're going to get any more probes out of this, to be honest.
Well, so far he's killed off 7 workers. He's only really lost a Reaper, I think. Or no, he lost the
an
SCV.
SCV.
Yeah,
the one that made the bunker, the suicide attempt.
Yeah, so far it's going pretty good for MaSa.
Well, as I said, keep Dave a bit more on the defensive, keep him a bit more focused on the micro rather than the macro. At the same time, MaSa in the back, you can see he does have that second command to center up. Stimpak is on the way. Lots of Marines coming out. You also see the defensive missile turret there in base. Just, went behind Dark Shrine, but at this point, I really don't see Dave kind of doing that. Doesn't feel very Dave-worthy.
Yeah, it looks like EnderSword actually going to be losing yet another probe as it tries to leave the base, but right now, Dave, he's going to be sitting in his base, and the 5 Reaper is going to be coming right back in and killing more and more probes.
Yeah, 2 more probes out of that one. We need to start posting some, well, not sentries, but some scouts here.
Yeah.
EnderSword just kind of curb this aggression. He's now down, 10 probes in this final attack, and the difference between 10 probes against a player like MaSa could literally just be the difference in the game. But you already got some Immortals coming out as well there from Dave. He's really going to just have to stick on his one base. He doesn't have the power to push out these Reapers, and even if he does, and he gets himself an expansion, the Reapers just come in the other side through the back door and just take out more probes. We do have the proxy pylon now down. The Marines, however, should be able to stop these Zealots.
He sees them.
Yeah, MaSa sees them. He doesn't care. Look, I mean, again,
he has
been building up.
Yeah, he has way too many Marines for those Zealots to really be able to do anything. And those Reapers still hopping in, trying to do whatever they can. And that Observer probably could get moved over a bit towards the right a bit more, just to allow easier vision of those Reapers that keep jumping up into the base. But it looks like right now, MaSa, he's going to get even farther in this game as he's taking his expansion now. He's going to be getting +1 infantry weapons, already has Stim, going to be getting combat shields soon too, and still has so many Reapers alive.
Yeah, we're up to the count of 5. Did we actually lose a Reaper in that last attack?
No, we did not.
We did not. Still only looking at the loss of the SCV here from MaSa. 5 Reapers have just been wrecking havoc here on EnderSword's base. And EnderSword, like on the one base, you can really tell the difference just in the production tab. I mean, we have ourselves a Forge, no expansion. Our units are, the supply is actually radically different at this point. EnderSword kind of stuck on 42. MaSa up to 85. Another hit and run attack.
Kill
That's
some more
free.
probes.
That's 4 probes.
4 probes.
For free. Yet again, it's just the mobility of these Reapers are just really playing havoc with these very immobile Protoss units. I mean, we got no blink. We're going for the Colossi with the range. Just trying to make use of that Robo Bay. But here comes the meat of the army from MaSa, and that is a very weakened EnderSword. He hasn't really been able to put any money into his army.
Yeah, like right now he's going to be rushing to try and get +1 armor here, but it's still... I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like, he has such a small army. MaSa almost double in supply, going to be getting more barracks now. And it looks like he has 2 Minivacs here, and a sizable Bioforest going to be going out for a drop.
Elevator play.
Oh, yeah, elevator play, and then possibly a second flank from the front ramp, too.
So a 2-pronged attack going to be coming in for MaSa. Which way do you defend, Dave? Which way do you defend? Stim is now going to be out. They're going to be trying to focus down that Cybernetics. There's the pincer attack coming in from both sides. And again, the supply difference is just going to be overwhelming here for EnderSword. Down goes the army. Nice time rift going down, but that is not going to be near enough. The photon overcharges. It's going to be like a drop in a bucket at this point. And Hendra left the game.
He has left the game. He's like, I don't need to see any more of this. And GG from EnderSword. Is MaSa going to be taking game number 1?
I wasn't aware that Hendrilisk was in that game, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, he just kind of like ninja joined in the lobby there and then just decided to stay, because why not?
Well, when you got to scout out your competition, you got to watch what they do. And MaSa at that point was a surgeon with those Reapers. How many Reapers did he lose at the end of it? 0.
He lost 0 Reapers.
Our observer is telling us 0 Reapers lost.
MaSa just too good.
So, I mean, I think Dave actually might have hit his goal of killing a unit, but we gotta step it up there. I mean, that kind of hit and run tactics from proxy Reapers really just catapulted MaSa into the huge lead of that game. And as you saw, I mean, by the time that the Bio Army came out with the expansion, with the upgrades, it just wasn't a competition.
started even, and then it slowly started to diverge, and then as soon as that expansion went down, it was just way too much in MaSa's favor, I feel. Because, like, EnderSword, he's still sitting in this base trying to defend against Reaper harass. And he has one base with 20 workers versus his opponent's 40. Like, that is just such a large difference. Plus, with the double mules coming out, it was just pretty ridiculous.
Terran, man, at its best. So, I mean, MaSa might have dropped down to Masters, but he still plays like a Grand. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the map control resulting in a win for game number 1 here on MaSa. Game number 2 is going to be Frost. We're going to have to see if EnderSword can actually bring this back for a tie. But PVT, I mean, what do you do up against the Proxy Reapers? Now, had he seen the Proxy Racks, had the probe actually gone on the high ground instead of the low, would Dave have actually still stood a chance?
Probably, but the thing is, Heavy Rain, I feel like MaSa was very good with that choice of where he chose to place his barracks, because Heavy Rain, the default route is through the center. So
and he took the high ground.
Yeah.
Dave took the low ground.
But yeah, so it just, like, EnderSword, he would have had needed a sixth sense or something to be able to know that the barracks was going to be up there, because there's no reason to go